Okay, hi guys, and welcome to this review. This is one I'm super excited to bring you. This is the ThieAudio Legacy 4. Before we get this opened, I want to talk about ThieAudio. ThieAudio are the in-house brand of Linso. I've had a relationship with Linso for a while. They did send this for review. Linso are the one company in the world who does not care what you say about their products. I mean, I'm sure they care, but they literally, I've bashed stuff that they have sent me, and they have never, ever given me any input into what to say about something. They seem to have this opinion of they want to have their shop stocked with the best items, knowing that if they have the best items, the people are going to buy the best items. They're very community driven, and in that, ThieAudio seem to have been created from them taking a lot of the feedback that not only me as a reviewer but other people as reviewers gave this input back to them. Especially in cables. When we started out in this hobby, cables were super expensive. There was a lot of features on these braided cables. I'm using that as an example, but it's not a very good cable. They took feedback from people saying like what you want in a cable, and they implemented it. They implemented stuff that custom cable manufacturers were charging hundreds of dollars for. They listen to you on tuning, you give feedback, and they don't only do that with ThieAudio. They do it when you say something about tin hi-fi or something. They will go and speak to Tin and say this is what the people are wanting. They provide direct feedback, and ThieAudio is the sort of summation of them taking that feedback, doing their own thing, but also listening to the input of the community. And I really like that, because it's starting to pay off big time with like the Legacy series, the Monarchs, the Clairvoyants, and their planar headphones. They are building an arsenal that is a big problem to mainstream brands, because these are gaining serious legitimacy, and these ones in particular are fantastic. I have the 5s over here for reference. These were really good, but I would say that these are one of these headphones that are at their price point, so they sound about where you would expect them for the money you're paying. These, on the other hand, are one of the headphones that deliver so much more than the money you're paying. These are about $195, and this is the box it comes in. It's a nice box, very premium cardboard, classy design, ThieAudio Legacy 4. I've done an unboxing on this, but I want to do it again just to show the people that don't watch unboxings. Take that top off, and you're faced with a case for a headphone, or for an earphone. For an IEM, you're getting a case like this. This seems strange. It's got the weatherproofing seal on it. It's quite rigid. It's got the ThieAudio logo on it. It's a really nice case. But why would you do that? It's an IEM. I don't need it. But I guess if you're going to carry your headphones, or a couple of pairs of headphones, and you're going to carry a DAP, you can use this. A lot of people are going to use these with a DAP or something extra rather than just their phone. So impressed with that already, because remember, these are only $200, so extras, count. They count towards the price, but also they count because I open the box and I'm already like, wow, okay, I feel good about my purchase. I feel like I'm getting something quality. So then you open the top, and that shaking that I've just done, you've just seen me shake the box, has shaken the headphones. But you would be faced with this sort of presentation. Now, I've already been using these for a few days, but I wanted to put everything back in the box so you could see it. Here you have the ear tips. This is on a milled piece of aluminium with little dots there, little protrusions that you can put your ear tips back on. This comes out and you can keep it in the case. It's a very handy way, so you've not got loose tips flying about. Just again, nice thoughtful touch. Then you have the actual portable carry case where you're going to get your earphones. You can shove that in a bag or a pocket or something like that, and it mimics the design of the big case. Inside that you get your cable, which is a mess just now because I've already been using them. The inside the case has got nice little fur lining and stuff, and it's got these little air or gel pocket things which are going to provide a little bit of shock absorption. Again, it's nothing special, but it's just like little things all add up. I'm going to take the cable out, I'm going to get rid of the case, and I'll take the earphones out at the same time. And what I'll do is I'll actually take out this whole little wedge. And we'll get that out of the way. Okay, so put them to the side, and cable first. Those of you who watch my reviews in the past month have been, commenting how much I spend time talking about cable because it's a big part of how you use your headphones. Cables are, to me, irrelevant when it comes to sound quality. I'm not somebody that believes if you change a cable you're going to get a change in sound quality. I've always been like that. I've done a lot of A/B testing, and I've never heard anything that I can't put past my ears, just being distorted for a second. The cable for me is important though because of the way it performs. Am I going to put that down, and is it going to remain tangle free? I mean, I've got Campfire Audio headphones like the Solaris and the Vegas, and you put that cable down, and that's a LITS cable that they sell for $300-400 or $300, and the thing bursts up like a bird's nest. ThieAudio have very good cables. This isn't one of their best, but it's very, very good for the price. On a $200 earphone, I would have paid, in the noughties, I would have paid over $100 for something like this. It comes with a metal jack point, a small metal jack point. I like this, that is so short here. It's got a standard 3.5mm connector with a tiny little strain relief on the end. It is a quad braid design, meaning that there's 4 strands there. Internally of each of these strands, I think there's a dual or quad twist where they twist the wire. But yeah, there's a quad braid going on here, which after the split point actually turns to a dual twist. And the quad braids actually, they flow really, really nicely. That's something I like. And then moving to the dual twist is actually better past the splitter point in the way that it hugs your body. The splitter itself, again, is all metal. Really like that. And there's a nice little plastic cable cinch there. There is a little bit of what would you call it, memory retention there to keep the hook on the earphone so that it goes over the top of your ears. And then you have a little metal body and the 2-pin flush connector, which we're going to talk about again because it's a sticking point for me. I prefer MMCX, it's just my thing. I don't mind 2-pin, but the one issue I see with 2-pin is the way that the connector sits flush to the body. So that's it, and you can still see the two pins. That's me really pushed it in. And that is somewhere like if you're in a humid environment, you could sweat down into that, and corrosion. Over time, I mean years and years, I'm talking, that I've had custom IEMs where the corrosion's actually ingressed into the housing of the earphone. But that's all I'm going to say about that. It's a decent cable. It's relevant when I say it's a decent cable. It's a fantastic cable where we were 5 years ago. But knowing some of the other cables that are in the market just now around that price as well, it's just a good cable as opposed to outstanding. The earphones, however, are unbelievably beautiful. These are one of the best looking IEMs I've seen in a long time. And this isn't doing it justice at all. The faceplate on these is just gorgeous. And each set's going to be unique. Each set's going to be different. The body is a resin body. It's got a resin tip on it, or a resin nozzle, as opposed to fusing a metal nozzle to the body. It is a triple bore. And on the inside you can see the dynamic driver units and the little 8mm, the 8mm dynamic driver, and the balanced armatures are just mounted in here, and they'll have their own distinct channels that they're firing into. On top of it you have two filter switches where you can slightly modify the sound, and you have this little port here where I'm guessing that's the ventilation for the driver to stop back pressure. They're super classy. They're really, really small. I mean, this the 5 versus the 5 versus the 4. The 5 are far bigger. These are super, super comfortable. They're super lightweight. Ergonomically, absolutely perfect. Small, medium ears, no problem. The sound, which I'm guessing you're all here for, is unbelievably good. And when I say that, I'm talking about a tuning perspective. I really like the Monarchs. Really, really like the Monarchs. These are tuned very similarly to the Monarchs, with, I would say, maybe slightly less sub-bass response, or a little bit less bass response, but they still, despite not having that electrostatic driver, they have excellent treble. I've been really impressed. The lows, I'm actually a fan on IEMs of a smaller dynamic driver. I know people have this tendency to go big bass with big dynamic drivers in IEMs, but I think some of the best bass I've heard are micro driver IEMs and beryllium drivers about 8mm, including the Campfire Audio Vega that I've been using, which has unbelievable sub-bass response from an 8, I believe it's an 8 or a 10. I think the Polaris has an 8mm beryllium driver. The bass here is super, super smooth, impactful, it's slightly elevated. It punches hard, it's got good texture, it's got good detail, it's fast, it's responsive, it doesn't get in the way of the mids. The mids are smooth, detailed, enough air presentation in them. Treble's got excellent extension. And you gotta know that when I'm saying all this, it sounds like you're fluffing it a bit. And I get where people come from with that, but having been in this hobby since 97, 98 or something like that, and I got a set of Shure E2C, and I remember everybody being like, wow, oh my god, oh, that sounds so clear and stuff. All the way through, when we talk about stuff like this, you're talking about it in terms of other products at the same price. Or what I like to do is discuss the chi-fi stuff versus the common manufacturers like Shure, JVC and stuff like that. Now Shure maybe, no, I'm going to say that this is going to be against the Ionic 3, and I rate the Ionic 3. These blow the Ionic 3 away. Against Sony, against JVC and stuff like that, these are going to blow those out the water completely in terms of fidelity and everything else you get in the packet. So to get that sort of similar price point and perspective, you have to bring in other earphones and what else they can do. Ones like the Tin Hi-Fi P1, I think they sound better than this. But the Tin Hi-Fi P1 are not for everybody. You're going to need an amp or a DAC to drive the P1 to their full potential. These you don't. These you can just plug into your phone, or you can use a cheap amp and DAC, and you can get a lot out of it. These punch well above their weight. I would say they compete up there to I'm finding this a harder and harder thing to describe to people, because when I say this punched above its weight, so this is like what I would think if I heard it. I would think maybe like $300, possibly $400. But then I think, I'm like, oh, the LZA7 is about $300. So, but then the LZA7, they punch up like where I now think that they should be like a $400 or $500 earphone, and it goes on like that, where it's getting harder and harder to distinguish where you draw the line, and that term's becoming more diluted. Like, these punch above their price point. What I'm going to say instead of that is that these represent outstanding value for money. They have amazing sound. As I say, they're tuned very similar to the Monarchs. They have excellent bass. They have the filters that you can switch. They have detachable cables, which are excellent. They have good accessories. I would maybe change them out for a different set of tips. ThieAudio E-Series tips, which I really like. They're comfortable. They look incredible. They sound great. Yeah, what more can you say? I've already talked for too long. This is past 15 minutes. But highly recommend these. If you're wanting me to do some specific comparisons with this, because this seems to come up a lot, just put a comment down below this video, and if you see that I've reviewed it before, or I might have reviewed it if it's in a similar price point and it's Chi-Fi, just give me a message in the comment section, and I'll try and give you some sort of comparison. As I say, I've been displaced because of COVID, so I don't have all my gear here, but I have a lot of gear that I could compare this to. Personally, between these two, I still think these are really, really good. I think these are better value for money though. As I say, these sound good, but about the money with other options, these are in the territory of there's less options that compete against them. They're in that higher tier for the price point. So I really rate them. I would absolutely recommend you buy them if you've got about that sort of money and the tuning seems to fit your needs, and they just look like a great set of headphones. Another good solid headphone from ThieAudio. So again, sorry for dragging this one out so long, but this happens, and thank you for watching. Have a good night.